The biggest challenge that companies are facing today is talent. They can't fill open positions. It's having a huge effect on their revenue, their profits, and their service. What's worked in the past isn't working today. We have developed a 6-step strategy called the process to successful hiring. We need to make the process more candidate-centric versus employer-centric. We need to remove the friction from the process, make it easier. And we need to use applicant tracking systems to streamline the process, both for the candidate and the company. So the first step is present your company differently. You need to think about it as you would if you were marketing your product. You need to sell your company. You need to sell your brand. Change the title. In the first few sentences of your job ad, you need to focus on exactly what would interest that particular person, as opposed to burying it somewhere down. If they have to read too far in before they get excited, they unfortunately will probably click off your ad and go somewhere else. So if it's remote work or overtime or whatever it is you're trying to push. And of course, diversity, equity, and inclusion is an important equation today and needs to be mentioned as part of your deliverable as a company. And last, you should use videos, employee testimonials. People love those as opposed to just reading ads. It makes it more exciting and differentiates you from your competition. 2 is you need to trim the question fat. That's, in essence, what that means is just reduce the number of questions that you're going to ask people. There's way too many. And that leads me into my third one, which is change your approach to applications. There's a lot of things here you can do. Like the first one is you could use 2-stage apps. And that is just ask questions of people, get some information, figure out if that's a good candidate for you, and then flip over to the second set of questions when you reduce that number to a more manageable numbers. You need to know what your candidate drop-off rate is. You need to know how long it takes for your candidates to complete an application. If you haven't taken your own application, you should do that to give you a baseline to know what that is. You should offer incentives. I know many of us haven't done that in the past, but it's happening every day now. You should look at what your competition is doing and make a decision. And last in this section, job boards, hugely important. Which job boards are you using? Which are most effective? Are you sponsoring jobs? Most of us haven't sponsored jobs in the past. I'm going to tell you that's just going to become the new normal, and you have to accept it because your competition is doing it. And are you posting the job boards that address diversity, inclusion, and equity? 4, how does your applicant apply? If you have multiple jobs that person could apply for at your company, are you making them fill out 4 different applications, or can they do it all at once? If can they figure out how far your location is from their home using a Google Maps integration that would be built into some software that they might use? That's important. Maybe even helps them understand if buses are an alternative way of travel for those who are transportation challenged. Can they apply on their phone is one thing, and can they use their phone number to apply versus their email address? All very important. Application templates is strategy number 5. What that means is, are you using different applications for the different jobs in your company? Hourly versus salary, for example. You should have them. The questions should also be different. The knockout questions should be different. And last is your response time. You need to be very quick in responding to candidates that apply for your job. You should measure this in seconds and minutes, not minutes and hours. You should use a scoring mechanism to speed up the process. You have to use text messaging and emails. Phone calls don't work. Nobody answers a call from a number that they're not familiar with. And you need to make it easy for your candidates to schedule an interview right there. Track and measure your success so you can see if you're making any improvements and how it's working. And with that, happy hiring.